Hey guys, Alessio, hope you're well. So in this video, we're going to talk about Bitcoin and also the chart of Bitcoin. I'm going to be talking with Alexandra Overgaag, who has an incredible amount of knowledge about Bitcoin. And I'm going to ask her what her opinion is about the crypto and whether she thinks Bitcoin could go to all-time highs sometime this year. And also I'll give you my opinion about Bitcoin as well in this video. All right guys, should be quite interesting. Join us. All right guys, welcome back. So I'm currently in South London near Woolwich, and right over here behind me is the Zebu, is that how you say it?
Zebu Live.
Zebu Live conference. It's a crypto conference where a lot of people who are interested in Web3 and crypto in general come and gather, and they meet other fellow professionals. Alexandra was here today as well. And by the way, if you haven't yet checked out Alexandra's company, Thrilled Labs, please go ahead and do so. It would mean a lot to me. Alexandra is the founder and CEO of Thrilled, which is a Web3 company dedicated to bringing fellow professionals in Web3 together and connect them. By the way, Alexandra will tell you more about that at the end of the video, and also check out the link in the description as well. Alexandra, how are you doing? You well?
I'm perfectly fine, and I'm thrilled once more to be here. Thank you, Alessio. Appreciate it.
Pleasure. Listen, last time we did an interview together, I think it was last year in October. You guys remember that? And back at the time, the price of Bitcoin was hovering about, I think it was at 28K. And we were very bullish on Bitcoin. You were very bullish on Bitcoin. And I remember a lot of the comments, there were many comments from people on YouTube saying, you guys don't know what you're talking about. Alexandra is wrong, Alessio is wrong, Bitcoin is not going to go up. And of course, we saw that Bitcoin did go up from about 30K to 40K to 50K in the next several months. But I'm sure the question you're wondering is, okay, could we have a similar situation in Bitcoin this time round? Is Bitcoin likely to go up to new all-time highs sometime in the next few months by the end of this year? What does Alexandra think? By the way, I realize some of you are going to say that Alexandra is more of a fundamentals person, whereas I'm more of a technicals person. Well, all I would say to you guys is this, that I think it's really important to pay attention to what Alexandra says, because she's very knowledgeable when it comes to crypto, far more knowledgeable about crypto and Bitcoin than I am. So I think we should pay attention to what Alexandra has to say. Sometimes a bit more knowledge, even if it's fundamentals knowledge, can be helpful. So Alexandra, the first thing I want to talk about is that, well, we've seen that Bitcoin has been stuck in a consolidation pattern from the March highs. So back in March, it hit an approximate level of about 70K, more or less. And then it dropped down to what I think were capitulation levels at about 49K. My view is, and this is controversial, maybe not everyone agrees with me on this, but I think that Bitcoin saw capitulation at 49K or below 50K, because a lot of people panicked out when it dropped to about 4950K and sold. Is that your view as well? I mean, do you think that we saw fear, an intense amount of fear capitulation about 49K?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, if we look also at the levels that we have seen when the ETFs started to kick in, that was right at that very level, right? Yeah. So in terms of your question, Alessio, yes, I definitely think that you're on point there. If we look at where we've seen the bottom, really, yeah, there we saw a little bit of panic, a little bit of hesitation in the market. We saw that bottom there.
So your view is that you're thinking that that 49K low that we made in August, that was probably a bottom on Bitcoin, bottom for the next several months, maybe for the next 6 months, the longer term?
Yes.
Before we hit all-time highs.
Yes, I wouldn't say I'm 100% certain about that. Of course, like that's always difficult to say. There's always risks and probabilities, but yes, sure. I agree.
I would say I agree with Alexandra. I think as long as Bitcoin stays above the September lows, I think as long as Bitcoin can stay above that and protect that level, I think likely that 49K low was a capitulation low, or as you say, a bottom on Bitcoin for now, for the next several months. And I hold a bullish view on Bitcoin as well, by the way. I think that eventually the next several weeks and months, we're going to probably hit all-time highs above the 70K level. In other words, I'm looking for Bitcoin eventually to break out of this regression channel. Once Bitcoin breaks out of the channel, this consolidation pattern on the weekly chart, I think, as I said before, I think once we get a breakout of that, that could be a very good sign, a positive sign for Bitcoin, that we could go to potentially much higher levels. So I guess my question is, where do you see Bitcoin in the next few months, by the end of this year? I hate to do all the talking. I think we should let Alexandra talk, and I'm sure you want to hear what Alexandra has to say, not me.
Thank you, Alessio. Appreciate it. So yes, of course I'm a fundamentals person, but what I think is also very, very interesting is that, of course, we're currently in October, right? I don't know when this video is actually coming up, but they say October for a reason. So in terms of my projections right here, right, in terms of what I expect, Obviously, we're in a month of October, which is traditionally a massive, amazing month for the crypto space. If you look at total market cap, every year, basically since 2018, 19, if I'm not mistaken, every year we had big, massive pluses in October. Sometimes yes and no, also in November, December. On top of that, obviously, we have recently seen quantitative easing to an extent from the central bank in the United States. We've seen massive money pumping in also from the Chinese side as well, right? Bank of China. So all these types of stimulus, be it that you are in favor or not as a crypto person, all these types of things help as well. The effects of the Bitcoin halving really slowly are starting to kick in. That is never immediate. So there's a range of course, questions and factors that are coming in. Last but not least, there's a lot of things that can be said, but of course the US elections. As we know that there is one candidate who is really posing himself as the crypto guy, the other side of the equation. We're not entirely sure yet what they're expecting or wanting to do, but there's really ample factors and possibilities out here from a more fundamental macroeconomic perspective. Yeah.
So Alexandra, last question, which is, where do you see Bitcoin potentially heading towards if indeed we're both bullish on Bitcoin, as long as Bitcoin stays above September lows? So where could Bitcoin be by the end of the year, do you think? Above 70K probably, but do you have more or less an approximate target where you think we might be? I mean, how likely is it for Bitcoin to go to, I hate to say this because I know it's cliche. People always say, oh, 100K, nonsense. But I mean, okay, we might as well ask the question, do you see Bitcoin at 100K by the end of this year? I should say that I don't know if we're going to hit 100K this year. Next year is more likely, but I don't think this year.
I agree with you, actually. I mean, as everyone knows by now, right? Everyone who's seen the previous video in which I was kind of like talking about price predictions won't be surprised if I say that I do believe that Bitcoin is going to hit high amounts. 100K this year yet, I'm not sure. I think we'll probably see 80, 85. Having said that, and this is quite important, I do really think that we also need to see altcoin season kicking in, and we do need new narratives really kicking in as well. But that's a whole entirely different topic, and those things will enforce one another, I'm convinced.
Can you just explain for our audience what you need to see for alt season? Do you mean like Ethereum needs to join in?
Thank you, Alessio. What we traditionally saw was, of course, Bitcoin, right? Hitting very, very high levels. And then after that, Bitcoin correcting as it always did. But then that money, that crypto or fiat really being recycled. First towards Ethereum, then the other lower cap currencies out there. Having said that, I do expect a little bit of a different type of scenario here, just because we have seen so much institutional money coming in Bitcoin that will be in there for the longer term. Obviously, we're expecting a slightly different narrative. If we look at 2022, we really saw the DeFi summer kicking in, right? DeFi getting hot, attracting a lot of external capital as well. What I really see now is that a lot of projects that have been already established are not only attracting funds from new retail investors, but also from more and more institutions, right? We're speaking about the XRP potentially ETF. We're speaking about Solana ETFs alongside the Ethereum one as well.
All right, guys, before I finish this video, I just want to ask you a huge favor, which is if you haven't checked out Alexandra's app, Thrilled Labs, please go ahead and do so. The link to join the app is in the description. And by the way, this is especially for those of you who have an interest in Web3. So if you have an interest in Web3 and you want to connect with other fellow professionals in the Web3 space, then go ahead and check out the link in the description. Go on Alexandra's app, again, Thrilled, download it, and then go ahead and browse through it. Check it out, take it for a test drive. Alexandra will tell you a little bit more about it, though. Tell us more about what Thrilled is all about and why people should join.
Yeah, so ultimately, Thrilled is the name of the platform, right? It's really meant for Web3 professionals or aspiring professionals. And when I say Web3, I mean anyone who's interested or working in the crypto space, in the blockchain space, really Web3 more broadly. And why is that potentially of interest to you? Well, if you want to connect, maybe you're looking for a job even in this space, right? That is also quite likely. If you're interested in this very topic, who knows? You can just browse through people and companies globally that are involved in Web3 in this beautiful ecosystem and just find them and chat with them instantly. It's the only platform out there that allows you to do that, and it's free and it's open access. So yeah, very much recommend you to check it out. There's more in the pipeline and we're raising capital. So if anyone is interested.
Again, guys, seriously, if you're interested in Web3 and you want to connect with fellow professionals, please go ahead. It would mean a lot to me. So go on the link in the description and check out Alexandra's app, Thrilled Labs. I've already seen it myself. It's fantastic. It looks phenomenal. And well done to you, Alexandra, for creating this. Guys, we'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.